welcome to our event. Really sorry about all the technical issues we've had. We tested and tested all week since we set this up, and the one thing that we couldn't test were the number of people on the call. So we've got everything back together again, and the show will start in just a moment. Aloha, everybody. Welcome to our Rotary in Great Britain and Ireland social. After watching the convention just now, I think we'll give the ukulele a miss. Let's see a little video all about the convention that was to be in Honolulu.
On the Islands of Paradise at the 2020 Rotary Convention, you'll find a word that has many meanings, a philosophy living in the core of its people, values that lead to positive impact near and far. Come together and uncover the spirit of aloha with Rotary.
Discover Honolulu, Hawaii.
A place where aloha is a way of life.
Aloha is living in harmony.
Appreciating the unity of people and nature.
Aloha is having patience.
Expressed through perseverance.
Aloha is treating everyone with love and respect,
so others can follow our lead.
Aloha is joyful sharing with my ohana.
The friends and family we keep close in our hearts.
Experience the convention in Honolulu, where the family of Rotary will gather to celebrate, collaborate, and connect the world.
Share your aloha at the 2020 Rotary Convention.
And enjoy every moment with people of action, just like you.
Well, that was Honolulu, and I'm delighted that here today we've got Donna Wallbank, who is the president of Great Britain and Ireland Rotary. Donna, would you like to welcome everyone to our virtual social?
I would, and thank you so much for pulling this together for us. You know, we were all looking so forward, weren't we, to going to Honolulu, and I know we were delayed before we got in here, so I'm hopeful that during your delay you were able to get your duty-free sorted and maybe you had a drink in the bar. But we're here, we're celebrating, we've come together, and we're connecting in this new way of making those connections. So much has been put together in a very short period of time, and I'm so grateful to Mike and Phil and Dave and Alistair and Amanda for making that happen. You know, we're going to have a great hour or so together thinking about what Rotary means to us and the connections we make. So thank you for staying with us and joining us this afternoon.
This afternoon we're going to do a number of breakout sessions. What we're going to do is we're going to divide everyone up into groups. However, because we're recording this to go out, we're not going to show all those groups. But had you been here, you'd have had some wonderful breakouts and some great discussion and social with other members.
Aloha. I hope the breakout session went well. I am wearing a grass skirt, but I'm not showing it this afternoon. Instead, I'm going to do an interview, and it's with great pleasure that we've got online the Secretary General of Rotary in Great Britain and Ireland, Amanda Watkin. Amanda, how are things?
Very good, Dave, and great to see you this afternoon, and so many people online as well. Fabulous.
Amanda, it's been trying times in Rotary generally, and Ulster in particular. You've had to readapt the way you've done things. How have things been with your team at the Rotary support?
I think we've been really, really fortunate. The team have been really adaptable. You know, part of the strategic plan of Rotary is to make sure we're a bit more agile and able to respond to change. All members of the team have done this. We're all working from home, and some are enjoying it better than others, it's fair to say, but we won't be going back anytime soon. So the team know that they're going to be in that home working environment, certainly through to September. There's no point in bringing people back into the office workplace to only find that circumstances change and we end up having to move everybody back out again. That's actually far more disruptive, both to the business and to the individuals. But No, they're doing really well. We've got all the technology is functioning as though we were in the office. So be that telephones or our connections to Rotary World headquarters, it's all there, all functioning. And I'm really, really proud of what the team have adapted and brought to the table on behalf of our members. So yeah, it's all good. Thanks, Dave.
And if you were going to be taking the temperature of Rotary in these aisles at this moment, what would you say is the temperature? How is the patient doing?
Well, I think we have a mixed group of patients in, and some I think need to put a jumper on because they're running a little bit cold, and others certainly need to get near the fridge because they are hot. And some of the work that's going on out there in the field is just phenomenal. But yeah, we've got some that we need to nurture a little bit better and help them enjoy their Rotary. But yeah, overall, I think I'm, as always, pretty positive about the way forward and the way in which Rotary is responding in these islands to the challenges that we have.
One of the things that's happened out of this whole pandemic has been seeing Rotary in a very positive light, and you've seen at first hand some of the great projects that have been going on around the country. Do you want to talk about a few of those?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the work has been phenomenal. There's no doubt about it. And I know as editor of our magazine, you know firsthand as well, Dave, just the variety and the creativity that our members have shown. And it's really hard to put your finger on any one thing because there has been such a groundswell to step up and meet the needs of community at the local level and of course internationally as well. But this local response that's really meant so much. And what I found is that, our behaviour to step in to support others out there has been second to none. So by example, the food banks, they're in crisis. Okay, they are feeding more people, more families than ever before. And this particular issue is not going to go away anytime soon. So although we're going through COVID and everybody's talking about COVID response, we also need to talk about post-COVID response. And our clubs are there working with those organisations to make sure that families are going to have the essentials that they need to ensure that their children are fed and that they as individuals are fed in order to be able to carry out and function in society. And then of course we've got the PPE and the scrub hubs that are stepping up, so the support of the NHS, you name it, it's happening. So it really is just mind-blowing how Rotary in these islands has actually done its part so positively and progressively to support the community at large.
We asked for some questions, and I got one here from Jonathan Portwood, who's from the Beeston Club in Nottingham. And he says this: in line with many clubs at present, we are holding our weekly meetings via Zoom. And while this has been quite effective, for those who feel comfortable with technology, we have several members in our club who are completely IT illiterate and are extremely reluctant to try out Zoom or anything like that. So he says, I'm concerned that these members are going to become more and more disconnected from our Rotary Fellowship the longer we continue to meet virtually. So his question to you, Amanda, is, are there any suggestions about how best to overcome this disconnect?
Yeah, I mean, he's raising a really valid point here because not everybody has the confidence or the ability to be able to join as we are doing today using Zoom. And we need to be really mindful of that. And I think that for me, let's go back to basics. Pick up the phone, all right? We can all make a telephone call to our friends within our clubs and within neighbouring clubs as well, because we are supposed to be grouped into our regions, and there's nothing to stop us just checking on our neighbours, even if they're not part of our actual Rotary club. But we do need to nurture, and we do need to make sure that everybody has that support infrastructure. Many of our members themselves are having to be shielded, or certainly taking extra care in their isolation to make sure that they don't get caught by this terrible disease. So we need to make sure that we do look after our own as well as the community. And I think that telephone call in the first instance, newsletters, email communications for those that can handle that level of technology, really important, just to get that sort of feel-good factor. And of course, let's not forget, with Zoom meetings, you can dial in using the telephone as well. So though you may not get the visual interaction, you can still hear from your friends and you can still participate. So yeah, great point raised.
Amanda, some really interesting ideas, and I thought that might make a really good talking point for our breakouts. And so, as is the form, we have 10 minutes, and perhaps you might want to talk among yourselves in those rooms about some of the solutions, some of the ideas you might have to bridge that disconnect between those who are IT savvy, those who are afraid perhaps of technology, and how you can bring them together in the world of Rotary. Welcome, Welcome back, everyone. That was an interesting chat, certainly from the room that I was in, where we were discussing various thoughts on those who haven't embraced technology, and clearly, as one point was made by one gentleman, that the fact that actually, in terms of face-to-face meetings, one could argue, will we actually be meeting face-to-face this year? So that's something that will be.
No, I doubt it.
Okay, moving on with the interviews, we're going to head to, well, he put down that he lives in Danu near Honolulu, but heaven knows where that is. So hopefully Tony Black is there. Glad the police aren't around, Tony, otherwise you get done for visual pollution with that Hawaiian shirt. How are you, sir?
I'm not bad.
So, Tony, I'm sure everyone knows is the sort of RI director for these zones, for the zones which encompasses Great Britain and Ireland. Tony, what does the job description say? What does the role involve?
I would take all day to answer that, but there's so many things it's involved. About we're meeting, we're discussing the budgets, all these kind of things, and problems that Rotary hit, or maybe putting out advice to Rotarians as well, and speaking to likes of the different charities or organisations that we deal with. Toastmasters are one, we've been speaking to them. All these, the Gates Foundation,
yeah,
you name it, we've probably been discussing it in some level.
I asked Amanda about, if you were to take the temperature of Rotary in Great Britain and Ireland, where would it be? If I was to ask you the same question in terms of Rotary internationally, because you're having these conversations, what would you say the temperature is right now in terms of Rotary internationally?
I don't really know what you mean by the question, but to me, Rotary's got a big problem because of the COVID-19. And we have to surmount that. We have to look at how we retain our members. A lot will probably leave, but we all know there's people joining, there's clubs getting formed, and it's the same across the world. And I don't know how you do it. We just have to keep looking at bringing in new members, all the ones that are doing fantastic jobs, whatever, get them to come in.
I mean, membership is an issue. I've got an email here, Tony, from Arthur Spencer, who's with the Rotary Club of Bushel Park in London District. And he says, I've been a member of Rotary since my club started in 1982. Over that time, I don't believe any member has managed to persuade a close member of the family, son or daughter, in joining Rotary. One or two have joined Rotrac for a short period. And I believe that this situation is not uncommon. If we can't persuade our own offspring to join Rotary, is it surprising that the movement is having problems in sustaining itself? Do you agree?
I agree with that. If we can't, I mean, okay, there's a lot, if you watch around all the slides, a lot of partners that are, or spouses are now members. But yes, trying to get the younger age group. And it's the same. How many of the 25 to 40 age group have got other things? I've got young families, other commitments, and it must be hard. And this is a better way when we're meeting virtually rather than having a lunchtime meeting or an evening meeting. We meet on a Saturday morning, or we're meeting on a Saturday morning, so folk could come for a coffee. Everybody's different in how they do it. And I think we have to change and accommodate everybody, whether they're 25 or 95. We better go to over 100. And suit what everybody, what each person wants. It might be you have 2 meetings a week. You might have one group that wants to meet for coffee and ones that want to have an evening meal. We're all so different, and I think we have to look at ways that we can adapt to it. And I don't know the answer. I think we all have to find our own individual answers.
there's some interesting feedback on the chat. Cheryl Law saying, I think your own family are the most difficult people to bring on board. They think it's a parents thing, which is an interesting thought. I know I saw somewhere there talking about the Maidenhead Bridge Club, which is a very innovative club. It meets on a Sunday morning in Costa. And of course, Tony, there's talk now about these hybrid clubs. You know, the way we need to go forward, especially with Zoom, it is hybrid clubs. And actually my own club is looking at that, a mixture of meeting face-to-face and Zoom whenever we do come back. Do you have any thoughts on hybrid meetings perhaps?
No, I think that's a good idea. I don't know if it was you and I were speaking about it or if I was speaking to other folk. I think it's a good idea. And if you use even a face-to-face, if you have Zoom set up, you could bring Brad in from California or somebody from Australia to your own club meeting, or even the RI president could come to your meeting and be there for 5-10 minutes and go away at no cost to you. But the hybrid meeting, whether you decide that you want to have one face-to-face a month, one coffee morning, one go for a beer, and one Zoom meeting. Every club will decide what they want to do, and I think we're all getting a chance to try out these new ideas.
Yeah, no, that's terrific thought, and I think that's the theme which I'd like to use as the next theme for the breakout session. Thank you very much, Tony, for that. And I thought the theme we should maybe discuss is, what's your club going to be doing after lockdown, post-COVID? How are you going to change? How are you going to bring in new members and that ultimately make your club a more attractive proposition? So it'll be interesting within your breakout rooms to perhaps swap some ideas and some thoughts on that, and we can come back afterwards where we'll have a chat with Donna Wallbank. So it's 10 minutes, seconds out, off you go. Welcome back. Welcome back. I hope you had a good session there. Some interesting chat about, you know, ways that we're going to adapt Rotary and think about Rotary after lockdown. We've got about 15 minutes left, and we've got Donna Wallbank coming out. We've got a video promoting Taipei, and even a video from Holger. So we've got a lot to pack in the next 15 minutes. But before then, I want to introduce to you my sparring partner together to talk to Nicki Scott, who has got a very special guest with her.
I do. It's my absolute pleasure this afternoon to have a chance to introduce you all to Mr. Brad Howard, who's connecting with us all the way from the Napa Valley region, assuming he's not on his bike right now. Are you with us, Brad?
I am. I'm right here.
Excellent. Welcome. Oh, I think you've got a shirt like me. So I can tell why you'd have a shirt like me, because not everyone may know, but you are the promotions chair for the Hawaii convention. So apart from the fact that Mike Thorn is clearly an absolutely outstanding member of your team, what else would you like to share with us about this switch you've had to make to a virtual convention, Brad?
Well, it was an interesting process. I mean, we spent the better part of 2 years ramping up for the convention in Honolulu, and had the program largely framed, speakers lined up, and all the logistics that come with it. And then as COVID started becoming much more of an issue, we started to see attendance start to erode in some cases. And finally, the board in mid-March made the decision to cancel the convention. And the committee was fully behind it at the time. It made sense. But actually the day after that the board had made the decision, the committee got together again, the convention committee. And to a person, everybody said, we're not going to cancel it, we're going to reimagine it. So by the end of March, we had finally reconvened because we needed to kind of clean up a little bit of all the registrations from Honolulu and how that was all going to be refunded. And once we had enough bandwidth with staff to focus on it, starting the end of March till what you saw yesterday was us moving very quickly to reimagine. And we realized that we couldn't just take a convention, a face-to-face convention, and put video around it and deliver it. We had to reimagine what a virtual convention is. And so what you saw yesterday was based on 3 months. I suspect that as a result of this convention, we will always have some kind of virtual aspect to it. A couple of statistics. more than, I just saw a number came in while we've been in the midst of this social time. 57,000 people registered for this convention. It's the largest convention we've ever held. Yesterday, over 50,000 views of the opening session. Now that wasn't all simultaneous. It was over the course of the day, but those are the metrics provided by YouTube. So in my opinion, COVID has helped Rotary significantly in the way we connect on our convention.
Absolutely. And I know I saw some people saying, oh, 8,000 is really disappointing. I'm like, well, hang on, that's just the ones in English, because you're doing separate, simultaneous outlays. In how many languages in total, Howard?
We had 7 languages going simultaneously. So in order to see the metrics, you'd have to go into each of the language groups. At one time during the live piece, we were just about 20,000 people.
Yeah.
But then people, the whole Asia and the United States, I mean, I had to get up at 5:30 in the morning in order to see it. And a lot of people in the West Coast of the United States didn't want to do that. So they waited until the afternoon. They watched it in the evening. They could watch it throughout the day. You can go back and watch it right now.
It's a fantastic opportunity. So Brad, I know you were raised in Hawaii and you would have loved to have shared your wonderful homeland with everybody, but what are you looking forward to now? You've done such a nice job with the virtual element and you and your team. What are you most looking forward to in the breakouts? Tell us a little bit about
well, the thing about the breakouts is, well, there's 2 breakouts, right? There's the 15 that'll take place over the course of the rest of this week. And some of those are going to focus on what we were just talking about. How is this technology going to enhance the experience? What does it mean to be a member of Rotary? And how do you engage people outside of the organization? So there's a fair amount that'll be focused on that. And then there's what we're calling the unofficial affiliated breakouts. Those are the ones throughout July. And the menu of those is extensive. At one point, we had 50 different proposals to be able to drop into. So you can look down the menu of selections and say, I'm really interested in seeing that and join them. So from my standpoint, I'm fascinated by what is happening with Rotary right now and how this really is a pivot point towards the future. So I'll be attending probably most of those breakouts that focus on one aspect or another of those.
Absolutely fantastic. Well, I know we've got other people coming in long line, but I just want to say that we're really looking forward to hosting you on Together's Talks, and you'll be back soon in these islands. Won't be too long, on the first one in July 6th. So we look forward to hearing more from you and your personal stories from Rotary. Thanks so much, Brad, for being with us this afternoon.
Thank you. Good to see you all.
Thank you very much, Brad and Nicki. Brad, I should call boss. So thank you so much for getting up early to join us today. I can't let this opportunity pass down without promoting Taipei. So we've got a little video that Phil is going to pop on the screen, and then I'll talk to you about some of the key messages.
A world of energy is calling your name.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much, my man.
Feel the energy at the Rotary International Convention in Taipei.
So that gives you a little flavor on what Taipei is all about. Taipei is a very, very different place. What it will look like in the post-COVID era, who knows? But the convention is for all members. It is often a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and certainly to go to somewhere like Taipei, it's not something that most of us will jump to on holiday. But with Rotary, we can go to Taipei, feel that we've got friends there, but also have a great time and explore the island and explore the convention. Of course, every year at convention time, there is a discount period. So the best rates that you can get are now until the end of this week. They close down on Friday. It's a $50 saving. And after that, there is another discount rate, but it's not as good. That will run through to December 15th. But key is, I think at the moment, think about this Friday. The hotels are fantastically cheap. They're really good value. I've booked my hotel already. I've seen messages from various people that have also booked their hotels. And again, it's an opportunity to explore somewhere where you wouldn't have gone otherwise. The local Rotary clubs are putting on great hospitality as well. There's Taiwanese opera, something I don't know whether many people have ever been to. There's an orchestra night, and we mustn't forget, one of the highlights of conventions in the social side is the host hospitality night, where you get to have an evening with Rotarians and enjoy the hospitality of Taiwan. So all of that is available at riconvention.org. That's riconvention.org. It's the same place for every convention. Click on the Taipei box and very much feel the energy in Taipei in 2021. Okay, so that's the little advertising blurb for Taipei. Next on, I'd like to hand back to Dave, and Dave's going to have another chat, but this time back with Donna again.
Well, I hope so, because Donna just said she's been kicked out, so I might have
Not
to feel
again.
But Mike, I thought Gloria Hanniford was the best in holiday selling, and you've just made that like Del Boy does Holiday 97. So well done to you for that. Donna, are you online at all by any chance?
I'm back.
Oh, fantastic. I thought I was going to have to start singing. Donna, welcome back. I know you're going to finish this evening by saying a few words, but beforehand, just thought we'd have a quick chat. You've got 9 days to go. Are you feeling DMOB happy?
No, I'm not. It's been such an amazing journey that you can't be happy to see the end, because, you know, there's still much to do for the next 9 days, and a year is the immediate past. So no, I'm not DMOB happy at all. I'm just staying very positive and so grateful for everything that we've enjoyed.
Can you pick out a couple of highlights for you? What have you enjoyed this year? Maybe something perhaps a little bit unusual.
A virtual duck race when I was up in Scotland was quite fun. That was Joe Pawley. That was real good fun. But it's examples of that where Rotarians and Rotary clubs and districts think outside the box, and they're showcasing Rotary in not the normal perceived image. Because let's face it, you know, in some of the breakout groups, we've been talking and looking at the messages. It's the image of what people think we are. And when you really see what Rotary is and how people of action take that action, really, I think that one of the things we've got to do is tell our story in a totally positive, different way. And it's for us to tell the story as individuals. No, I see so many people of action and members, the family of Rotary, from Rotary kids through to your most senior Rotarian in age, all enjoying what they do and having a passion to continue doing that. And that's to be celebrated, Dave.
Oh, Janine Birtwhistle, our friend in Guernsey, just said about you've been great, Donna, a working Rotarian, leading us all with a smile.
Well, I think that it's easy, particularly in these times, to think that your glass is half empty. Mine's half full. But you have to look at it with with a half glass full, you know, because if we don't celebrate and have that positivity, who else will? You know, I've been seeing people saying about younger people and retention and the numbers we lose. You know, I'm in business. I've continued working nearly full time. People can do it, but what we have to do is make our roles in clubs, in district, at Rotary in Great Britain and Ireland and Rotary International doable for all age groups, so that those age groups, those people who want to take action, are enabled to do that. And I think that we have really started on that, and we are enabling, and the changes that are going to happen are positive. So why wouldn't you look with your glass half full? You know, why would you be negative? Why? I wouldn't sell my business that way, so why would I sell Rotary that way?
And are you looking forward to going back to work and getting those roots sorted out?
Yeah, you can tell. I tried hard to hide them earlier. Yeah, I am looking forward to going back to work. I was so grateful Welsh Government have given us a preliminary 14th of July date, 13th or 14th of July. My staff are over the moon. So that again says that we got to be okay to work for, because they can't wait to come back. And yeah, getting back to normality. But normality is going to be different, isn't it? Just like Rotary is going to be different. And, you know, we're using this term, the new norm, but we are going to be living differently. We're going to operate differently. And we've got to look at how we do that to enable people to come forward. In my own club, we brought in 3 new members because of what we did in the community for COVID. And that's being celebrated across Great Britain and Ireland. You know, we have to concentrate on retention. We have to concentrate on equality, diversity. You know, we are people from all avenues in all communities, whether it's a hairdresser, a solicitor, a news reporter, you know, whoever you are, if you've got a heart to do good, Rotary is a place, and we are showcasing that now. So, and I'll be doing that when I'm back in the hairdressers as well.
Well done to you, Donna. Can I say you have been a fantastic president, amazing energy, tweeting all the time, but you really have made a difference this year. So well done to you. And I'm sure Steve and the family will be pleased to see more of you along the way. So we're almost there. We're going to sign out with a Holger video, but Donna, do you want to lead us out with a few words?
Yeah, I want to thank everybody who has taken part here. Apologies for the disruption at the beginning of it, but thank you for staying with us. Thank you to everybody who is continuing to do what they do. But, you know, we are virtually celebrating. We're virtually together, and long may that continue. And long may you have fun in Rotary and do good in your communities. Thank you so much for what you do. And I believe that Rotary does connect the world, but equally, as we move to what Holger's theme is, that Rotary opens opportunities. This is a time of that opportunity for Rotary, and that's a really good segue, I think, for us to hear from Holger.
One of the great joys of my life is to share experiences across generations and cultures. When we learn from each other and build friendship that transcends ages and borders, we make the world a better, more peaceful place.
Thank you for this. Thank you for this opportunity. So I really tried to. So number one is always, please go not back to normal. If we are coming back to normal, please keep that what we learned virtually. So this is number one. I think that's so important, and we can be prepared so much better for the future. Second, what I'm always saying to Rotary clubs, hey, look about your future. Make at least one strategic meeting a year and think about where you want to be in 5-8 years. I think this is so important, and then make your decisions how you want to grow your Rotary club. And third is, regarding membership. Let's look always for new members, what are a good fit to our Rotary club. I think this is really important. Let's look for the best members for your club, and then make sure that also your club meets their expectation. I think this is important for growing Rotary. And don't forget polio, even if it's right now difficult. But this is the promise we made to the children of the world. We want to end polio, and we will do that. even if it's right now extremely difficult. But stay with us. Whatever happens in Rotary, don't forget to have fun. I think this is so important.